I just wanted to show you how my microphone and video setup works. The microphone is a cheap one from Amazon, which you normally place on your chest, basically. But I have it right here. I have some wire here that I took from an old broken umbrella and wrapped it in gauze and have clamped it between my headphones and my head over the ear, and the microphone ends up being here. And I have a bunch of effects on this thing, so it sounds fine. The most important of which being noise suppression and the limiter. But okay, let's go through these. This is what this would sound like without any effects. Pretty dumb, huh? And all the noise in the background. Then here we have some noise suppression, so it's less bad. I could crank this up so that it's not, so that we have better noise suppression, but then this would not be good noise suppression. It would maybe delete some things that I don't want deleted and so forth and so on. But it improves the overall situation. So if you now go here to this noise suppression, that's a good one, huh? This is AI noise suppression, which uses a simple neural network. And the problem with this, I have been using this for a long time, was that if I would have spoken something with an F at the beginning, and there would have been a pause, then it would just eat that up. And I realized recently when I bought the new microphone and redid all the entire equalization setup, that I could use this noise suppression here, the simple one, to reduce the overall noise environment a bit, so that when the AI would come in, it would be confronted with a less drastic noise environment and would make less drastic decisions. And that actually worked out. Now I have less of these problems that in the recording in DaVinci I have to fix the missing F sounds all the time. Okay, and then of course we get to the equalizer stages. This is, I have multiple, maybe one of would have been enough. I mean, you might say, well, if you want to amplify this here, or if you want to amplify this here a lot, and then you might need multiple stages, because one might not allow you to go far enough. I don't know if that ultimately comes into play somewhere here. I haven't really analyzed this. The reason that I have 3 of these is that the current microphone sound is of course dumb. It's not nice. So the microphone itself sounding dumb, it's my voice sounding dumb. So then I had to iteratively go through this and try to improve it. So then I did this, then this sounded better. Then I did this. This again sounded somewhat better. And maybe I'm not loud enough anymore, but I cannot really do anything about this right now, except if I would fiddle around with these, but I'm not doing that. I took screenshots of all the individual setups and mailed them to an offsite machine, so I really can't lose these because it took like 5-6 hours to set this up. And then the last equalizer stage, which makes it yet again sound a bit better. The way I presented it to you here, like this is the normal sound, then I had this step, and then I thought, well, it needs some more improvement, and then it needs some more improvement. It's not exactly how it went down, because once I was here, I ended up then realizing something had been boosted, changed too strongly, and then I kind of associatively thought, oh, well, let's remove that here or there. It doesn't really matter where I remove it. So some of the first stages sliders have also been changed then. Anyway, now for the most important thing, the limiter, which makes it sound much bigger and much better whenever I speak something less loud, or whenever I speak something loud, it will always come out the same volume. Whenever I speak something quiet, or whenever I speak something loud, now it sounds not so good. But with the limiter, after which I have to amplify again, this sounds much better. And limiter is really standard studio equipment. That's what you have everywhere, basically. Everybody's using these. And then finally, a little trick that I pulled was to use some low frequency echo. That's a nice idea, huh? See, you hear that there is now some something is happening something is happening, something is happening, something is happening around the base frequencies. Let me just amplify this ridiculously, so you can hear what that is. Here, that is what this ultimately adds. This is what this ultimately adds. So without it and with it, that's just a fast echo, 30 milliseconds with a little bit of feedback, so it keeps going round and round for a very short time. A low pass filter, so only 60 Hz and below are actually going in here, and a high pass filter, which makes sure that the very lowest frequencies, rumbling and so forth, are a bit suppressed. Yeah, and that's all that is here. Now for the video setup, just quickly take a look at that also. Video, output, here we go. I'm recording Matroshka files because MP4 would lose me all data if the machine crashes, which I haven't had yet. I mean, I've recorded almost 400 videos, some of which are almost 8-hour sessions with stationeers in the beta version. No crashes. I mean, seriously, the Rocketworks programming team is absolutely awesome. But the MP4 format also supports this losslessness, so to speak. I mean, if the machine crashes, then not everything is lost. But I guess the OBS implementation doesn't support that. Anyway, so the video encoder, I'm using my NVIDIA cards, HEVC compression, which is not always the best choice, but in OBS that works out. I don't use that in DaVinci Resolve, because some background parameters are set differently, I guess, that I don't have access to. That wouldn't lead to a good result, but here it is good. And I went through many iterations. Actually, recently, when I decided to record some, what's the name? Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, I realized that my Stationeer's recording quality had actually been way too low. Not in Stationeers, but for other games. In Stationeers, the overall visual information has low frequency. The textures are simple. But in Wildlands, everything is so detailed, and so that would lead to JPEG-y, squarey artifacts and smearing and such. And so I had to revamp this whole thing. And so that's now an improvement for all recordings that I do. That I'm using the HEVC compression instead of the other one that I cannot currently show you because I am currently recording. Audio encoder FLAC, FLAC, free lossless audio codec, so it's like a zip file, compresses the audio to about 50% of its size without any losses, like a zip file, like I said. We can actually record multiple audio tracks, so I could say here I can select how many audio tracks there will be, so I would have a second checkbox here, then I would be recording 2 tracks. Still only this track would have audio, but I can go here and tell the microphone that it also goes here to this track, and can remove this then. And so I will have separate tracks, and I sometimes do this for DaVinci Resolve recordings. That is actually very helpful, that you can have that separately and shift the voices and all the ums and so forth around and cut it and clean it up while still having the game sound in parallel. Where was I? Output, recording. Then we go to the actual encoder settings. Constant bitrate 40 megabits per second. In Stationeers I only had 30 megabits per second. And more importantly, the preset was medium quality, but now I'm using slow, good quality, which I tried in Stationeers, but that didn't work. Why? Because my machine wasn't fast enough for it. But I had been using 2 passes full resolution, so the every frame has to be crunched twice, because I thought this would lead to better compression, and it does, and therefore to better quality also, because the same stream quality that you're using, or recording quality, bitrate basically, will be used more wisely. But the difference is small. The impact on calculation, though, is significant. And so now that I'm going to a single pass, I have the time to actually go to slow, good quality, and that has tangible impact. Yeah, that's the setting. The rest is pretty much default. Yeah, that's my setup here. I hope that was useful and fun. See you.